You are not going to want to miss today's episode, as we are in Branson, Missouri, where back in 2017, a duck boat goes on land and then it goes on water, and 17 people ended up passing away.
It's being reported that one of the founding members of the popular dive group Adventures with Purpose has been charged with raping a child. Attorney Jenny El-Kadi comes on to discuss. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. There is a disturbing report that has come out that a founding member of the volunteer dive group Adventures with Purpose has been criminally charged with raping a child. This comes from the U.S. Sun. There's been very, very limited information about this, very limited reporting on it, but we do have some details to talk to you about. Now, for our followers here on Sidebar, you may recall that we had previously done interviews with Doug Bishop and Nick Rinn from this dive group before all of this news came to light. We actually interviewed them for their role in finding the body of missing teenager Kylie Rodney.
So we're going to head over here to the other side of the reservoir where there are lots of drive lanes down to the water's edge where people have cookouts, get-togethers, parties, family gatherings. This is a prime location where Kylie's vehicle could have made it into the reservoir.
I just confirm there are human remains in the vehicle. Over.
Well, now 47-year-old Jared Leisek, one of the founding members of this organization, is reportedly facing 2 counts of rape of a child for conduct back in 1992 out in Utah. And I want to bring in trial attorney Jenny El-Kadi, who specializes in kind of a related topic of human trafficking. She's a regular on the Law&Crime network. Jenny, good to see you. Thanks for coming on Sidebar. Look, as I said, there's not a lot out there. There's not a lot of details right now, but there is this court filing that says that Mr. Leisek faces 2 counts of rape of a child, which is a first-degree felony. One is from January 1st, 1992, and another is from October 1st, 1992. What do these crimes mean? What is the language of these statutes? What would a prosecution have to prove? And when you look at what we know, what stands out to you?
Yeah, so first off, I think one of the main important things to notice is the length of time of passage from the date of the incident to when these survivors and these victims actually came out about their abuse. It's very difficult, especially as a minor, to even process the fact that you were raped or you were sexually abused. So the mental processing that it takes for that and for the ability to come forward is why we have such great laws. And Utah has an amazing statute where there's no statute of limitations when it comes to minors being sexually abused or raped.
And just to make sure that we understand that, you're saying there's no statute of limitations, there's no time bar on criminal charges like this, right?
Correct. So there's no time bar for if you were raped as a minor to bring your claim in a criminal justice system. So that is the nice thing, because we've seen, science has shown that minors who were abused, normally it takes them until the age of 53 to even come forward. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the statute's language is that we know a minor cannot consent to sexual intercourse. Therefore, it doesn't matter if they were forced. It doesn't matter if they were coerced. None of that matters. They cannot consent to sexual intercourse. So if they were a minor and they were raped by another individual, point proven. It's a felony of the first degree, and that can land them to jail from 15 to life in prison. It really depends. And 2 counts, it depends on what the judge wants to issue, but they can run it consecutively or they can run it concurrently. So it really just depends.
And just so we understand here, again, he allegedly did this. We don't know the exact details of everything yet. In Utah, is there any defense to, is there any defense to say, I thought she was of age, right? She told me she was of age. That now I know that's a tricky question because certain states differ there, but what do we know about Utah?
So for Utah, we know that according to 76-5402, that no, without the individual's consent, regardless of the fact that they indicated, yes, I am of age. No, if they are a minor, it doesn't matter. There's no really defense in that retrospect.
And I have to ask you, there's something interesting because Adventures with Purpose has quite a big following on YouTube. And I think some other YouTube channels were taking notice of the fact that Mr. Leisek wasn't in the video of this group discovering the body of Kylie Rodney, one of their biggest videos, something that really put them on the map for what they did. Does that give you the sense that, I mean, we have no idea why that was the case, but does it give you the sense that maybe he was out of the spotlight considering these charges were coming down the pipeline?
It did give me the sense. Something that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way is, I had followed them for quite some time as well. And, when you see things like that, where you see, oh, they're trying to help society, they're trying to build a good systemic change to help save people. And then you hear a story like this, it really just makes you question everybody's motives, really. And when you think back on it and you see, oh, he wasn't there, it really does get you questioning, was there some type of reason for it? And it's really sad.
Well, we have to be clear, right? We don't know why he wasn't on. We don't know whether any of the other people at the organization even knew about this. He maybe wasn't on for whatever reason. And again, this was it's an interesting question, right? Because he allegedly did this. Let's assume, of course, that he did do this. Let's assume he gets convicted. What does that do to Adventures with Purpose? He's one of their founding members. You talk about the good that they've done. I'll give you an idea here. Since 2019, this group has solved at least 23 missing persons cases. The reason that they're getting such attention is because they do amazing work. They're able to provide tools that other people aren't able to do, or they just help, lend a helping hand. Whatever the situation is with Mr. Leisek, how is that going to affect the group's mission? How is that going to affect possible donations, where that is how they're actually able to operate? They were very transparent about it. They said that they receive a half a cent for anytime viewers watch an ad on their videos. That's how they actually make money. How is this going to affect the organization?
I think it's going to significantly affect the organization as a whole. I mean, I don't think they'll start getting donations. I think it's going to open up investigations into the other members. They've got a lot of PR mending to have to do. Maybe it is that not all the members have these accusations against them, but it is going to open up that investigations, and they're going to have to do a lot of mending to show, even though this one person from our group, we had no idea, they have to show that we are still good people and we're trying to change things in society. But media is a powerful tool. So if, word gets around, for me personally, it's one of those things where, okay, I'm not going to support somebody that I know is committing these crimes. It makes you question a lot of things.
Again, I have to emphasize this. We don't know what the story is. All of this is alleged. I will ask you, you mentioned something about the time frame, right? 1992, you had took the position, and it was interesting that many of these victims don't even realize the gravity of what happened to them. They don't recognize that it was sexual assault, and maybe that's why it takes so long to come forward with, accusations and charges. The counter argument is it's an old case. It's from 1992. Is there a situation where it would be really tough for the prosecution to prove a case like this?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the hardest things in discovery is dating back that far, being able to get any type of witness statements, any type of documentation that would prove these alleged claims. So that is something that's going to be very difficult for the prosecution, is how do you date back that far and get people to remember those things? Was there ever a police report? Was there ever, did they ever tell somebody, especially as a minor? You don't tend to tell your parents as a minor because, again, you don't know. You don't know at that age that you were just raped or sexually assaulted. So it's definitely going to be a hurdle for the prosecution.
And I should tell you, here at Sidebar, we have reached out to Adventures with Purpose. They basically directed us to their legal team. We never really got much of a response here, which is understandable given this news. Jenny El-Kadi, I appreciate you taking the time. It's a really disturbing report, and we're going to see which way this ultimately goes. Hopefully there's going to be more reporting and more information that comes to light because it is a very serious issue. Jenny, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jesse.
And thanks, everybody, for joining us once again here on Sidebar. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.